there has been a mystery going on planet Earth. There is an alien Urkin named Zim, who has been trying to invade planets, but his team kept telling him that he's too dumb and doesn't have the skills to become an invader. But Zim didn't give up, and he kept begging them, even the tallest. So his team sighed and told him to go invade Earth. And Zim had no idea what that planet was. They also the almighty tallest leaders of the Urkin Empire also gave him an assassin named Gur, who was a bit childish. He was a small, cute robot that had childish and funny habits. Gur and Zim got on a rocket and flew to planet Earth. Once they arrived, Zim checked the place and his surroundings, and after a few minutes, he found out what this planet was. It was a world filled with humans and certain animals, obviously. Zim decided to get eye contacts and a wig to look more human. He also designed his own humanly designed house, and he gave his assassin a dog costume so he'd look like his pet. Once he was finished with his human disguise, Zim was ready to invade the Earth and take this whole world over. Two siblings with the names of Dib and Gaz. Dib and Gaz were just going to school, but then they saw a new student joining their class. But little did they know it was Zim, an alien going to this school, trying to search information for educational purposes so he can learn more about the human species and what they do. And with that information, he could invade the Earth faster. Miss Bitters, everyone shut up and sit down and listen. I would like to introduce our new student who's joining our class. His name is Zim. His name is Zim. Dipper glances at the new guy, raising an eyebrow curiously, while Bubbles, one of the Powerpuff Girls, was sparked in dazed surprise, starting to secretly falling for the new guy already, while Blossom, the leader of the Powerpuff Girls, was fascinated, and Mabel Pines seemed excited, while Kyle, Stan, and Kenny were interested, and Cartman just rolled his eyes. Jenny Wickman scanned the new guy, observing him cautiously, while Morty Smith waving awkwardly. Miss Bitters, Zim, if there's anything you want to say it now, because right after this moment, I don't want to hear another sound from you. Hissed and slurred before heading back to her table, watching everything. Everyone just stared at Zim with mixed reactions. Zim Zim stood in front of the class while all students looked at him. He seemed nervous for a few seconds until he took a deep breath. He took a deep breath to calm himself down. He looked at the class with a blank expression as he spoke. Hi, he said. His voice was a bit shaky, but he managed to stay calm as possible. He noticed a few people looking at him with curious eyes. He awkwardly looked around the room for a while before his eyes landed on two specific people, Dib and Gaz. Dib and Gaz membrane. Dib was pointing suspiciously for aware, sensing that Zim might be an alien, while Gaz just rolled her eyes, not caring less. Kyle. Hey dude, so Zim, right? It's cool to meet you. Bubbles. Hi, you're hot. Cartman just chuckled, slightly smug. Morty Smith. I have a bad feeling on where this is going. Zim's eyes widened slightly surprised by how welcoming people were, or at least most of them, or at least most people. Most people. He gave them a small blank smile, but he was interrupted by the sound of one of the Powerpuff Girls, Bubbles, calling him hot, causing him to blink in surprise. He was used to being called weird, but never hot. Zim couldn't help but feel a bit flustered. But he quickly shook his head and put on a serious look again. Thanks, he said to Bubbles before turning his attention to Kyle. So, where are you from anyway? I'm guessing you're from some far town right around neighborhood, I guess? Don't worry about this class. It isn't all bad. Dib. Gaz. Whatever. Zim nodded at Kyle's words, trying to keep his cool and act casual. Yeah, he responded. I just moved here. He didn't want to reveal too much yet, especially to Dib, who was already eyeing him suspiciously. Zim couldn't help but feel a bit nervous under Dib's gaze. Gaz seemed uninterested. She seemed uninterested in the whole situation and just continued to look bored and moody. Or maybe on her Game Slade game. Zim. Anyways, hello earthworm friends. I am a perfectly normal human worm baby. You have nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing to fear from me. Just pay not too much attention to me of anything odd or whatever, and we'll all get along just fine. Just pay no attention to me and we'll all get along just fine. Bubbles. I think that must have been already arranged in a sweet way possible. Miss Bitters, take your seat now, Zim. Today we'll be discussing on how doomed our Earth that we are in, and how it inflated to the sun, and how it will eventually implode us. Cartman, by the way, this is going. I'm starting to find this interesting as hell. Dib. Zim nodded and take a seat, trying to focus on the lesson, but he couldn't help but notice how some of his classmates were reacting to him, especially Bubbles, who seemed to have a crush on him. Who seemed to have a crush on him. Who seemed to have a crush on him? Who seemed...
Zim nodded and took a seat, trying to focus on the lesson. But he couldn't help but notice how some of his classmates were reacting to him, especially Bubbles, who seemed to have a crush on him. As Miss Bitter started the lesson, Zim pretended to pay attention, but couldn't help but agree with Cartman's observation. Dib, on the other hand, was growing more suspicious by the minute, his eyes never leaving Zim's every movement.
Miss Bitters, today's lecture is about outer space and how it will eventually implode in on itself. Zim stands on his desk with both arms up. Miss Bitters, yes, Zim? Zim, in the event of, say, a full-scale alien invasion, how prepared do you think this planet's defenses would be? Tell me. Miss Bitters, as I was saying, the universe is just doomed. But a bug crosses her face. Miss Bitters continues to say doomed over and over. Dib membrane. Okay. Am I the only one here who sees the alien sitting in class? Am I the only one here who sees the alien sitting in class? The students look around for an alien. Dipper, now that you mention it, I honestly, Cartman, big deal, no bullshit about it. Dib, there! He points at Zim. The scene pans towards Zim, but returns to Dib. Dib, oh my god, right there! Pans towards Zim again, but this time stays on him. Zim starts to sweats. Dib, that is no kid. He's an alien. One of the monsters I've been talking about. He's here to conquer Earth. Bubbles.
It doesn't matter. He's still hot either way. Especially for a cute Powerpuff Girl like me.
Zim nervously moves his finger towards a self-destruct button on his sleeve. Cartman leans on Zim's chair. Cartman, bullshit, not this again. Bullshit, not this again. Not this again. You're crazy. Not this again. Bullshit. Bullshit, not this again. You're crazy. Zim relaxes and the self-destruct button disappears. Dib. What about his horrible green head? Zim. Insolent fool boy. It's a skin condition. Dib. And he's got no ears. Is that part of your skin condition, Zim? No ears? Dib gets in Kyle's face, pointing to his own ears. Zim Zim looks embarrassed. Yes. Leans down, falsely saddened awkwardly. The students except Bubbles, Dipper, Morty, and Jenny and Blossom looked in disbelief at Dib. Everyone except Bubbles, Morty, Dipper, Jenny, and Blossom looked in disbelief at Dib. Looked in Dib at disbelief. Looked at Dib, looking at Dib in disbelief. In disbelief. Looked in disbelief at Dib. Bubbles was too busy dazing in lovely at Zim, while Dipper, Jenny, and Blossom looked skeptical, and Morty Smith sweated, a bit panicked. Zim looked around nervously at his classmates, his heart racing as he prepared for his cover to be blown. Dib wasn't buying Zim's excuse and was adamant that he was an alien, while the rest of the class seemed to be divided on the matter. Bubbles continued to swoon over Zim, her eyes fixated on him. Dipper, Jenny, and Blossom were skeptical, but Morty looked panicked, as if he knew something the others didn't. Kyle.
Damn, Dib. Damn, Dib. You think that just 'cause someone looks different, you can call them an alien? You can call them an alien just because they're different? 'Cause someone looks different, you can call them an alien? Stan Marsh. Stan. I guess the old kid's an alien too, huh?
The old kid from far back. How's it going? Dib. Okay, see this? Okay, see? This is us. Dib uses a pointer to point to the sketch on the chalkboard of a man labeled normal human being. Dib. Now over here is Zim. Dib uses a pointer to point to the sketch of an Urkin labeled Zim. Dib. See the difference? Anyone? Questions? Eric Cartman.
Yeah, dude, what's wrong with you? What the hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? The only things you talk about are aliens and ghosts and seeing Bigfoot in your garage.
Dib. He was using the belt, Cartman. But that's not helping. Zim. Yeah, he's always saying stuff. I remember that one time. Dib. Hey, you just got here. Hey, you just got here. Don't let him trick you. Don't let him trick you. Don't let him trick you. I know what I'm talking about. And there it is, sitting right there. Right there. Dipper Pine's voice. Well, he does look pretty weird. The word weird passes by Zim. Mabel Pine's voice.
Yeah, and he is sitting.
The word sitting passes Zim as well. Dib. You see? Actual proof that all the things I've been saying are actually right. They're actually right. My proof evidence that all the things I've been saying are actually right. Finally. a way to prove that I'm Zim imitating Dib, that I'm crazy. Cartman, okay. Now, that makes sense. Butters,
Man, we almost believe him. Man, we almost believe him. We almost believed him.
Dipper, guys, what the hell? Back bars appear above and below Dib and Zim's glaring faces, making it appear like a white screen format as the two stare at each other. Blossom,
Now this interesting rivalry really begins, huh?
Bubbles sighs dazedly, still never leaving Zim's gaze, her heart racing awkwardly. Morty Smith, should we do something? Gaz, nah, it's not anyone's problem anyway. Cartman, just keep watching. This just got interested. Zim and Dib continue to glare at each other like a rivalry starting, neither one willing to back down, while Blossom and Morty seemed concerned. The others were enjoying the spectacle, especially Bubbles, who was still entranced by Zim. Jenny couldn't help but smirk at the scene, and Kyle rolled his eyes in annoyance. Stan and Kenny just leaned back in their seats. Zim's heart raced as he realized that he was still under cover for now. Dipper, Mabel, should we keep an eye on them? Mabel, let's not break the skeptical here. Miss Bitters, Doom, go home now. The bell rings and students rush out of the school. But Bubbles flew to Zim, kissing his cheek and waving before flying off with her Powerpuff sister Blossom. And Dipper waves at Zim cautiously signaling that he's watching Zim and keeping an eye on him, before walking off with Mabel following by. Zim pauses in front of the school, then proceeds to slowly walk down the steps. The doors open behind him and Dib appears. Zim. Maybe your cruddy little disguise worked on everyone else, but I'll get them to see the truth. Zim froze at the sound of Dib's voice and clenched his fist in annoyance. He turned to face Dib, trying to keep his cool. You won't be able to prove anything. Zim retorted, his eyes narrowing. My disguise is flawless, and nobody will believe you. My disguise is flawless, and nobody will believe you. And nobody will ever believe you. Nobody will believe you. Dib. Well, first off, I'm lucky that Dipper Pines, Jenny, and Blossom and Mabel are the only people that believe me. that believe me, especially Bubbles, who clearly don't care about you taking over Earth and all, but she just adores you no matter what you are for some reason. And second, they'll believe me if I bring you to them without your disguise. They'll believe if I bring you to them without your disguise. Without your disguise. Without your They'll believe if I bring you to them without your disguise. Without your disguise. Without your disguise. Without your disguise. Dib slides down the side railings of the steps and lands in front of Zim. He pulls out a pair of advanced handcuffs. I ordered this from one of my UFO from one of my UFO zines. From one of my UFO zines. Dib opens the handcuffs. Zim,
Oh, it's pretty. What is it?
oh, it's pretty. What is it? Dib, alien sleep cups, guaranteed to render all alien life forms unconscious. Zim,
How do you know it works if you never found an alien before?
how do you know it works if you never found a alien before? Dib, I'm gonna find out right now. Dib yells as he leaps at Zim, but Zim jumps just in time and lands on top of Dib as he runs, as Dib chases. They both run into Kenny McCormick, knocking him over. Zim, leave me alone. I just want to go home and be all normal. Dipper and Mabel, the Pine twins, spotted the whole thing by surprise, and quickly followed what's happening. Dipper, the hell? Zim jumps through an open window of an open car door and then out into the street. He knocks into the crossing guard. The crossing guard spins around and accidentally hits Dib with his stop sign. Zim smiles and runs into an alleyway. He jumps on a tire and grabs a pair of pants hanging on a clothesline. He slides down the clothesline, knocking off all the other clothes. Dib appears at the other end of the alleyway in front of Zim. Zim lets go of the pants and hits a box of oranges, knocking Dib over. Zim goes into the street and is almost hit by a car. The car stops and honks at him, but he climbs to the top of the car. He hops from the car to the car was Dib. Dib follows below on the sidewalk. Zim climbs to the top of a fake ice cream cone on top of an ice cream truck. Dib laughing maniacally. A school bus stops beside the ice cream truck to drop off students. Kyle, Stan, Cartman, Morty, Blossom, Bubbles, Jenny, and the mystery twins glanced up by surprise, concerned, trying to catch up to the whole situation. Zim jumps from the ice cream truck to the school bus. Dib also climbs the school bus. Zim backs up as Zim approaches him. Zim almost falls off the bus from backing up too far. He hangs halfway off the bus. Dib, they might even name your OPSI video after me. The bus starts moving again, and Zim loses his grip. He flies through the air and lands on top of a metal fence while making a painful noise.
Ha! See ya, Dib.
Ha! See you later, Dib. Pitiful human. Dipper and Mabel
Dipper and Mabel rush through the whole thing by the area by surprise, curiosity, and Blossom and Bubbles fly by in concern. Blossom was skeptical, while Bubbles was in love, worried concern. Dipper, whoa, what the heck is happening? Bubbles rushed towards Zim and holds around him gently, dazed, concerned. Zim! Blossom, you okay? Zim was panting heavily and wincing in pain from the fall. His disguise was a bit disheveled, but he quickly tried to compose himself. I'm fine, he muttered, trying to hide his injuries. Just got a little winded, that's all. Bubbles was all over Zim, her eyes wide with concern. You sure you're okay? She asked, not letting go of him. Suddenly a dog jumps out of the bushes behind the fence and bites down on Zim's head, pulling him down. One of Zim's boots flies through the air and lands on the fence. Bubbles immediately flies into the fence as she began to fight the dog to save Zim while using her Powerpuff powers to fight back. Dipper and Mabel watches the whole thing in disbelief, while Blossom observed the whole situation. The school bus passes by, and Dib jumps off onto the fence, knocking Zim's boot off the fence. He looks into the bushes for Zim, but he doesn't notice that Zim is crawling out of the bushes down below with Bubbles holding him like something precious and concerned. He is in pain, but he was surprised one of the Powerpuff Girls of all people on Earth would save him, save his life, and feels a little heartwarmed, touched from Bubbles protecting him and saving him like that. He puts his boot back on before patting Bubbles gently by the back as a thanks, as a thank you gesture, as a thanks. While she started blushing, Zim looks up and see that Dib is still on the top of the fence, looking for Zim in the bushes. Zim pushes Dib onto the bushes so that the dog will attack him, attacking Dib. Zim stands on the fence as a personal communicator attached to a robotic arm unfolds from his pack. Zim contacts Gur on the communicator. Gur, help me! There isn't much time. Gur, yes, sir. Bubbles, who's Gur? Mabel, I bet he must be the cute friend of his. Dipper, that's odd a bit. Mabel, but I like to see him either way. Almost instantly, the disguised Gur arrives using his jetpack. Zim hops down from the fence. Zim, get me out of here, Gur, now. Get me out of here now, Gur, now. Gur, okie dokie. Gur flies underneath Zim and forces him into the air. Zim grips Gur by the ears as they fly off, while glancing back at Mabel, Dipper, Blossom, and Bubbles, while waving at them as a goodbye gesture. Zim, hey,
Wait a minute. What the? Ah! I'll see you all tomorrow. It was a pleasure getting to know you all. It was a pleasure getting to know you all. Getting to know you all. Bubbles. I hope we see you at school again. I'll miss you, Zim. I'll miss you, Zim. Mabel. Wow. So that's what Gur looks. So that's what Gur looks like. Nice to meet you, Gur. Nice to meet you, Gur. Gur turns around and waving and saluting at the twins. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Zim's look back to a small smile crossing his face as he waves back, but he quickly shakes his head to refocus on his mission. Zim, Gur, just get me back to the base. I have a lot of work to do. Dib crawls out of the bushes, looking disabled, and noticed Dipper, Mabel, and the two Powerpuff Girls there witnessing everything. He blushed a bit at Blossom's direction. Before regaining focus. He brightens up as he realizes he can follow the smoke. He can follow the smoke trail Gur's jetpack has created. Zim screams as he and Gur rocket toward the house. They smack into the door and fall to the ground. They slowly get up. Zim looks badly beaten and has a twig in his wig. Zim, good work, Gur. Good work, Gur. Gur makes a triumphant noise, like one made by Blue and Blue's Clues. Dib. There you are. Dib emerges from the smoke trail. Zim, quick, get in the house. Gur, hurry. Get in the house, Gur, hurry. The door opens and the parent decoys greet him. The parents decoys. Welcome home, son. The door shuts behind them. Zim and Gur walked inside the house as the parents welcomed them. Zim quickly took off his disguise, revealing his true Urkin form. He grimaced as he removed the twig. Gur, go get me something to treat these injuries with. Zim ordered Gur, and Gur quickly ran off to grab some medical supplies from Zim's laboratory. Zim sat down on the couch and sighed. He knew Dib had seen him, and he wasn't sure what to do about it. Dib runs up and pounds on the door. Your little tricks won't fool me. It won't fool me, Zim. I know where you live now. Dib sticks his head up against the window. Gur. Oh, your friend's at the window. Oh, your friend's at the window. Dib, you can't hide forever. And if you can, then I'll wait forever. Lasers pop out of the pupils of one of the lawn gnomes. The aiming system zooms in Dib's sleep cups. Dib, I've been preparing for this all my life. Zim and Gur watched as Dib continued to try to break in. Zim smirked a bit as he saw the lasers aiming at Dib's sleep cups.
He's more of a pest than a thought.
Zim muttered, wincing in pain, as Gur dabbed some antiseptic on his injuries. Dib, come out! Get out here and face me! You coward! A laser bolt from the lawn gnomes disintegrates the cuffs. Dib, okay. I'm going to go home now and prepare some more. Gur takes off his disguise gleefully. Dib, but I'll be back. And from here to the ends of the earth, Zim. Dib continues to talk as Zim pulls the twig out of his wig. Zim,
I feel good about how today went. I feel good about how today went. No, I think I feel good about how today went.
Dib, to the depths of the oceans. Zim rolled his eyes as he continued to listen to Dib's ranting.
This guy will just keep coming back,
he muttered to himself. Gur, now in disguise form again, nodded in agreement.
He's real determined to capture you, sir.
Zim sighed and leaned back on the couch.
I can see that,
he said, wincing as he touched his injuries. Cut to the almighty Tallus' ship. Urkin incoming transmissions from Earth. A large view screen displays the word Earth. Red Tallus sips on a soda. Purple Tallus. What is Earth? The large view screen displays Zim out of disguise. As he talks, Gur, who also out of disguise, peeps his head in front the top. Zim,
Invader Zim reporting, sirs. The mission goes well.
Red Tallus drops his soda, and Purple Tallus stares with his mouth agape. Zim,
but surely you expect that from me.
Gur, one of the mighty Tallus spits. Red, Zim, you're alive? Zim, yes, so very alive. Gur,
hello.
Purple remains speechless. The mighty the tallest stare at the screen, still in disbelief that Zim is actually alive. Red, we thought you were dead. Zim. Zim grins, smugly proud of himself.
Nope, still kicking and succeeding at my mission, I might add.
Purple finally seemed to shake himself out of his daze. Purple, Zim, how did you manage to pull this off? We thought you had crashed and died. Red, what Purple meant to say was, wow, so far you're doing intriguing on your first time on your first time on Earth. Tell us how is it back there so far? How is it back there so far? Trying to play it off interested, curiously, while secretly speechless. speechless in disbelief, but tries to act intrigued and impressed, while covering Purple's mouth and winking. Purple. Oh yeah, tell us the first experience that happened so far. How are most of people that you met, eh? Starting to play along nonchalantly, secretly in disbelief. Zim's smugness intensifies as he sees through Red and Purple's attempts to play it off casually. He decides to play along though, and responds with enthusiasm. It's been quite the adventure on Earth. I must say, there are so many strange and fascinating creatures here. Over here, and the humans, they're interesting. So gullible and easy to manipulate. I've already made a few acquaintances, you might say. I've already made a few acquaintances. Red, wow. Tell us everything about how they react around you so far. Every different individual with their different perspective, personalities, and reactions from noticing you or in your blending in disguise form and everything all. Purple nonchalantly nodded, sweating a bit. Zim smirked, knowing that Red and Purple were genuinely curious about his experience. Well, let me tell you, these humans are quite peculiar, or something, you should say. These humans are quite peculiar. Some of them are easily deceived by my disguise, believing I'm just an ordinary human, but some of them, they're a bit suspicious. There's a human boy in particular who seems to suspect that I'm not from here. I'm not from here. Red, well, that's fascinating. Tell us. Purple, yes. Go on about the people that fall for your human disguise first. The gullible ones talk about first? Yeah. Then tell us about the skeptical smart ones. Immediately nodded fast twice to keep the facade. Zim, well, the most of the gullible ones that interest me, I'll go with first. Well, there's Kyle, Stan, and Kenny, who are clearly chill about everything mostly, and there's Cartman. He's a bit rough to deal with, but interesting. Then there's Bubbles. Bubbles, one of the Powerpuff Girls. She's in love with me. She's in love with me. She's in love with me for some interesting reason. Having a crush on me, in love with me for some interesting reason. For any reason, interestingly, for some interesting reason, and I'm curious about it. I'm just curious about it. and I'm curious about it. So I decided to be around her more for more information. Then there's Morty Smith. Morty Smith. He's a bit nervous and anxious, awkward, but fascinating. Last but not least, Mabel Pines. Mabel, she's giddy, but fascinating for me. And now the smart ones. First, there's Jenny Wickerman. She's an interesting teenage robot. Seemingly observant and average. Then there's Bubbles' sister, Blossom, the leader of the Powerpuff Girl team, and I can tell she's already swooning anyone with her independable, skilled personality and flaw. And Mabel's brother, Dipper Pines. Dipper Pines. He's just a interesting mystery boy himself. And lastly, Dib Manbrain. Dib Manbrain. He's now my enemy. He's now my enemy. As a crazy paranormal investigator trying to expose my identity, but I outsmarted him. Red. Wow, those are interesting people. You should really get to know them more often. More often. Way more often. Especially the weird one. Keeping the interesting facade up while in disbelief from all this and speechless. Purple, the Dib guy? Yeah. Also keeping the interesting facade up while in disbelief from all this. Zim chuckles at the tallest's reactions, knowing they were doing their best to keep up the facade of being casually interested. Oh, believe me, I plan on getting to know them all better. I plan on getting to know them all better. And Dib, well, he's a special case. I have a feeling he'll cause me some trouble, but I've outsmarted him thus far, and I'm confident I'll continue to do so. Red and purple. Zim. And full of goo. Mission goo. Don't be surprised if I take care of the humans before the Armada even gets here. Well, I have much work to do, so Invader Zim signing off. Gur falls from his perch, knocking Zim down. Oh, my spine! The transmission fades, and the tallest red and purple glance at each other in disbelief. Red and purple both sit in stunned silence, trying to process everything that just happened. Red. Zim is alive. Purple. And he's actually succeeding? Red. I can't believe it. Purple. Neither can I. But what should we do now? Red sighs and rubs his forehead, still in disbelief. I guess we just let him continue with his so-called mission we put him to. He's already causing chaos on the planet. It might be beneficial to us in the long run. Plus, we don't want to accidentally tip off the humans. The next day at school cuts to the classroom. Dipper was studying and Blossom was chatting with Dib about what happened so far yesterday, and Mabel was doing fashion modeling. Bubbles was giggling awkwardly while drawing her love thoughts of her crush Zim on paper, and Morty Smith and Jenny rolled their eyes, glancing at Cartman and Kyle, who are clearly arguing again as usual. And Gaz was on her video game Slade video game. Like, Gaz wouldn't even give a crap. Everyone else was doing their own thing. Everyone was just doing their things as usual, as a way to pass the time and wait for Zim to come. Zim walked into the classroom and looked around. He was in his disguise again. His human hair brushed up, buff haircut, and his fake human contacts looks around the area, noticing everyone doing their usual things. He was still recovering from yesterday's injuries, but was trying to cover it up. Zim looked around the classroom, noticing the familiar faces. His eyes scanned the room, and he spotted Dib, who was still suspicious and watchful of him, while Gaz was next to Dib. Gaz was next to Dib, playing her game slave video game as usual, not caring less. Zim tried to ignore Dib's gaze and found a seat nearby between Kyle, Bubbles, and Blossom. Kyle, hey dude, were you okay? Most of us been waiting for you for a few while now. Bubbles,
Zim, you made it. Are you okay? Do you want me to heal you up?
Cartman, well damn, he looked like he's been molted by a Wolverine. Kyle, dude, you're lucky that it wasn't even a Wolverine fight. You're lucky that it wasn't even a Wolverine fight. Zim gave a small grimace, trying to hide his discomfort. I'm fine. Just a few bumps and bruises, he said, managing a slight smile. Cartman snickered at Zim's appearance. Cartman, looking a little worse for wear, aren't we, Zim? Kyle, can it, dude? He's just looked a little wrecked from yesterday. That's all. Deal with it, fat ass. Deal with it, fat ass. Cartman, all right, chill, Kyle. I'm just messing with him, just saying some obvious, and I ain't fat, remember? I ain't fat, I'm big born. I'm big boy. Bubbles kiss most of Zim's bruises. kissing most of Zim's bruises, hoping to heal it in dazed concern, her heart racing and her cheeks flushing rosy. Zim flinches slightly at the sudden contact, caught off guard by the gentle touch of Bubbles' lips on his bruised skin. He glanced at her with a mixture of surprise and appreciation. Zim coughed awkwardly, feeling a strange fluttering in his chest. Flutter in his chest. Thanks, I guess. Thanks, he said gruffly, trying to disguise the flutter as annoyance. Bubbles, are you okay? Hopefully something good today will make you feel better. Zim nodded. He nodded, still feeling a bit awkward, but grateful for her concern. Yeah, I'm fine. Just a few bottle wounds. It's nothing I can handle. He tried to act nonchalant, even though he was feeling a bit flustered by her kindness. Bubbles, here, let me help you. Dipper, if the teacher sees you like this, she's going to send you to the nurse office, you know?
Zim sighed, knowing that Dipper had a point. He didn't want to draw attention to himself, especially if it would mean getting sent to the nurse's office. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, he said to Bubbles. He leaned back, letting her tend to his
injuries a bit.